Hi, team. I'm Fitz Koehler, your very noisy race announcer and host of the OC Marathon Show. And welcome back. Today, we have the OC Legends joining us, or at least a handful of our OC Legends. And we're really excited to talk about all of their incredible experiences since they have been with us for every single OC Marathon weekend since its inception, which means a lot to us, not only because we love having them in our lives, but we think it's pretty special that they think OC Marathon is special enough to prioritize every single year and come back every single year and show up at our start line with a smiling face and finish their races the same way. And not only is it great for us because we enjoy having them, but what an extraordinary way to stay committed to fitness is to have a legacy status where you've started that race and it's inaugural year and you keep coming back. And then what happens is as you keep coming back, the perks keep getting better and better because we like to take care of our legacy. So our OC Legends, very special to us. If you haven't already registered, our race weekend this year is November 6th and 7th. November 6th is the OC 5K. It's an evening race at 4 o'clock at the OC Fairgrounds. And then on Sunday morning, November 7th, we'll be kicking off the OC Half Marathon at Fashion Island. It's posh and glamorous and everything an Orange County, California race should be. So I'm going to get going. But again, if you haven't registered yet, go to ocmarathon.com and do it now. And if you need a discount code, message me. I'm over here and I'll give you one. Okay, so I'm going to start introducing my friends. Vicki has fallen off, so hopefully she'll come back soon. But we're going to start with Mr. Iyab Tasema. Welcome, Iyab.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Super happy to have you here. And then we also have Tara Rozzie.
Hi, good to see you.
And you, and the beautiful and talented Miss Yen Darcy. Hi, Yen.
I'm on finally.
You sure are. We're getting a little echo, Yen. If you could take out your earbuds, maybe that would help. She's checking the mute. Technical glitches are my favorite thing to deal with as a fitness person, not a tech person. So Iyab, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you besides this running guy?
Well, you did warn us to make it very short. So someday a movie is going to be made or
okay,
it's going to be written. But to just keep things nice and short, I'm a 58-year-old Ethiopian American marathoner who's now been running for close to 28 years.
Wow.
And I was a semi-professional soccer player before that, so I've always been athletic. But when most of my friends fell off the radar and got injured and can't even walk straight, my work was still not done. So I kind of switched over, used running as my cross training, and I've been a marathoner. My very first marathon was LA Marathon 26 years ago.
Wow. And what distance do you normally do when you run the OC?
Well, typically I have a window that I have maintained for the last 15 to 20 years, and I do it between 3:30 and 3:45.
Wow, impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah.
All right, and you, Tara, who has all your beautiful medals behind you. So tell us a little bit about you, beautiful girl.
I think that I'm the youngest legacy runner for the group because I was only 15 when I did my very first OC half marathon. I was part of SRLA, Students Run LA. I was not a runner. I was a soccer player, and then I did cross country and track, and did someone from my cross country team said, come to our SRLA practice at the middle school. And so, yeah, I trained with the middle school kids when I was a sophomore in high school. And now I'm actually a high school teacher, and I have a running club. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, we run, and then our school actually pays for their entry fees to be a part of the Carlsbad 5000. I live in San Diego now. I moved down here to be closer to work. And so, but every year I look forward to doing the OC half with my friend. It's a joke now because one day I'm going to be pregnant and I'm going to have to do it like while pregnant because I have to keep doing it. And I mean, I started at 15, so
yeah, you have.
I'm 32 now, so however many years.
Is that right? How many years have we been around? When did the OC start? I hear this week.
I think this will be 18.
Wow. Yeah. I've lost a little bit of time. I was traveling this weekend, so or this week, I should say. So 18, that's a long time. That's a long time to do anything. All right. And let's hear from, Vicki, I'm going to bring you in too. Hi, Vicki.
Hi, Fitz. Hi, team.
Hi. So Vicki, tell us a little bit about you. Tell everyone who you are.
Well, I'm Vicki Richardson. Tara is the youngest. I'm probably the oldest. I'm
the hottest.
I'm now 81, and I started running the full marathons. And in 2014, I found out that I wasn't as fast as I thought I was, so I switched to the half. And I'm still going. I love it, and I plan to run until I'm 150.
I love it. I love it. So you're one of my very first friends from the OC. In 2014 was my first year. That was my first race I ever announced. That one race in 2014.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was my first. And so when the marathon was over, Gary Kutcher, our race director, was going to drive Rudy and I back to our hotels. And you had just finished, and he was like, "Hey, Vicki, you need a ride?" Vicki gets in the car, and she's like, "God damn it, I'm never going to do a marathon ever again."
Oh, I went mute.
Right. And but she committed to the
show. I can see and hear you.
And
I don't know what happened. We're frozen.
It's okay. It's okay. Just talk to your hunky husband about getting you locked in. But yeah, Vicki, she came in. She actually has done more marathons since then, but she's been a great half marathoner at OC. I love seeing her. All right, Miss Yen, tell us about you.
This is Yen Darcy. I started running actually is 1998, and my first marathon is LA Marathon.
Okay.
So after that, I was just testing, say, hey, for my lifetime, I want to run a marathon, just see how that feels, right? So after that, I said, okay, I'm going to look for a running club to run with. So I found LA Roadrunner. That's where I met Eop. So we were pace leader in that club for longest time. Then, but that wasn't my legacy run. So I was looking for a legacy run, and OC Marathon started. Say, hey, yeah, let's go for it.
Right.
So first year was a really, really rainy day, cloudy day. But you guys remember it? So.
All right. Hold on one second. Let me fix it. Go on.
Fix it. Yeah. Then after that, ever since we ran every single one of them with the app. That's at my backyard. I live in Orange County, and just love the race. It's just small enough and not too big. It's very personal. So we just ran every single one of them.
Yeah, I like how you say it does have a personal feel. I mean, our races are big. Quite often we have 25,000 people over the race weekend, but it still does have a very personal touch, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah. I want to run with one that I can run every one of them.
I love it.
That's the OC Marathon.
I'm gonna go to you, Tara. Now, what's your favorite part about the OC? Like, why do you come back every year? You could stop.
I really love the course, and every year I'm trying to think how many years it's been that every year I get a new person to sign up for it. This year it's my trainer. So he does just like strength training and kickboxing and stuff with me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And he's going to do his very first half marathon on November 7th. Yeah. And I just try to get new people, and it's pretty easy to convince them because the course is gorgeous. And I liked what Yen said about the feeling, and it's so true because even though it's a big race, I actually met a friend because she dropped her driver's license, and I picked it up and I said, "Hi, you, like, I have your driver's license." And she and I started running and finished the race and exchanged numbers, and we've been in touch since. And that was, I don't even know how many years ago. And so I just feel like there's something special about that particular race. The expo is fun. It's a huge expo. And the location, you can't really beat it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I love that you're bringing new people in every year. And what a great gift to be able to affect somebody else's health that way. You know, there's so many people who are maybe couch potatoes or just not crushing life the way they should be, but our running community is so special. So to be able to reach out your hand and bring them in, and especially to an event that's so great. So hold on one second. I'm going to tell Vicki, I can see you. So turn off your cell phone. Just hang up on your cell phone because that will cause an echo, and then I'll bring you back in on the computer. I think she can hear me and see me. All right, Eob. And what do you find most special about the OC?
Well, I want to go ahead and piggyback on what my friend Yen said, because our stories are very similar. And to give you an additional context on how it all began, and my story gets to be told this way.
Okay.
A bunch of us had actually run a few more LA marathons before OC was even conceived. Okay. But in as much as many marathons as we've run, we all knew that we could never make legacy status in LA because we were not there from day one when it first started in 1986. Yeah. So a few of us started to look around for another marathon where we could be there from day one. And coincidentally, that very same year OC Marathon started, guess what else was also beginning to rumble? The Malibu Marathon. So a lot of Angelinos, including myself, just to be quite honest with you, looked for something close by and, you know, not as far as OC. So we all found ourselves signing up to Malibu Marathon, only to find out that 2 or 3 months before the scheduled race, guess what happened? All the celebrities, you know, basically stepped into City Hall and said, NIMBY, not in my backyard, and they canceled Malibu. So all of our money was returned to us, and we still were without a marathon where we can start. And then somebody told us, hey, OC is about to start in the month of December. So we said, hey, that's close enough, you know, that's close enough. Let's all go there. At least we will establish a foundation, and we'll see how long we can hold up on that. The rest is history. So December 2004 was the first OC Marathon. And then the next one ended up being in the month of January, but 2006. So we didn't mind the vacillation of the months from December to January 1st, and then eventually to May. So we all just kept on going every year. And how long has it been now? 17 years. I especially love OC.
That is a fantastic backstory. I love hearing that.
It is the honest truth.
It's spectacular. And you know what? What a bunch of dummies those celebrities in Malibu are, because nothing's better than having a big old race come to town and a bunch of healthy runners, right?
Right. They did eventually bring it back, but only to the half now, because they said they can't afford to keep PCH closed off for 8 hours straight and have the broad masses of Los Angeles just block their livelihood.
Foolish people, because runners bring a huge boom to the economy. So
if they only knew.
Penny wise, pound foolish. Can't fix stupid sometimes, but oh well. Their loss, our gain. We're happy to have you and keep you. So that works out great. So Vicki, how did you get looped into this? Were you part of that crew looking for a legacy status?
I was just lucky. I was with the LA Road Runners. My first marathon was 1989. I ran my first one at 50. I thought it would be, great to celebrate 50. So that's when I started running. I've done about 20 something marathons. And I had a friend who was running, and they said, this OC is coming up and let's do it. And I did it. And we almost drowned in the storm. She never came back. I kept going. So I've done 61 marathons since I started my running career at age 50.
Wow. That's incredible. So I just did my very first marathon on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you very much. I earned myself a unicorn, which I'm very,
Boston.
yeah, very proud about that. But you know, when I crossed that finish line, someone said, "Are you going to do it again?" And I just said, "Don't talk to me now." So I don't know. Don't ask. I'm still in that don't ask category. But 61 marathons, they're grueling. How do you get yourself psyched up for the next one, Vicki?
It's so exciting. I'm just eternally grateful to be able to do them. That's how.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? It is a privilege, right? And what a wonderful feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Okay. So Yen, how many marathons have you done?
I was just checking on it. I probably, let me see, where did it go?
Yeah.
I actually did maybe 70 marathons.
Wow.
But I did 133 ultra marathons. So,
133 ultra marathons?
yeah, it's a way over marathon.
Holy mackerel. And this is why we call you the OC Legends. It's not just about legacy status. You guys are so much more than that. This is outrageous.
Yeah,
and how do you get your
good training.
How do you get
a good training distance?
Yeah, it's a training distance. Okay. So what is the longest race you've ever conquered?
100 mile.
100 mile. And how long does that take?
I'm slow runner, so take me 28. Fastest take me 28 hours.
28 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Holy mackerel. So we're getting some comments in here from the Peanut Gallery, our friends on Facebook and YouTube, and anyone can feel free to use the comment section to say hello. Chris Bronson's like, go Yen.
Oh, Chris, yes. Chris is an ultra runner too.
Well, yeah, I thought 26.2 was certainly long enough. And then Ward's given me a hard time about Ironman. The answer to that is a flat out no, Warren. And Warren's a great OC runner. I love when he comes out too. I don't believe he's a legacy, but he should be. He's a legend in my heart. Oh,
yes,
Yenigizer. Is that your nickname? The Yenigizer?
Yes, that's my nickname.
That's pretty awesome. So Tara, are you a legacy in our half marathon?
Yes, in the half marathon. I trained, that was actually my first race ever, aside from cross country races. I did the LA Marathon. That was training for the LA Marathon. And because that race was in December, I think LA Marathon's March. Yeah. So that was my very first half marathon. And I'm going to be honest, it was my fastest time. It is slowly just progressively gone down since the age of 15. But I did the LA Marathon that year. So I've done three marathons, I think 37 or 38 halves, and 3 triathlons now. And then I'm actually, it's kind of hard to call it a legacy because it's not that exciting. It's a 5K, but the Run for a Cause that the OC Marathon puts on, I've done that every year since the first year it started. With a group of us have done it every year. So the same group of us do it every year now. So I think that one is year 7 or 8 now. Year 7, 8, something like that. And so that one's in Irvine. And so that one now I'm adding to my OC legacy status of we just had to keep doing it. So I didn't mention this, but the biggest thing probably for me was running. How to keep doing it. So I didn't mention this, but the biggest thing probably.
We're getting an echo now. I'm going to mute everybody to see if I can remove that.
There we go. So the OC half marathon being in May, I actually went to college at Chico State, which is in Northern California, and college gets out in May, and the end of May though. So I used to actually have to fly back and forth for 4 years. I flew. And when I studied abroad in Australia, I made sure that my study abroad was in the fall, not in the spring, so that I could still do the OC race.
Wow.
So I flew back and forth from Northern California for that race, just for race weekend. And then I'd go back and school ended with finals the week after.
Wow, that's such great commitment. So how does your life benefit from this commitment? I mean, what do you think your legacy status, how does that
forces me? I'm going to be honest. I'm probably, okay, all of you guys are like real runners. Like I'm like a fake runner because I'm sorry. I'm listening to you guys and the training that you guys put in. I wish I had like maintained that, but teaching high school it's quite exhausting, and I'm not as disciplined as I used to be. So I think because of forcing me, sorry, somebody's calling. I will decline that.
Must be technical fun tonight.
It's forced me to still run because I can't just like show up for this race and not have any training under my belt.
Nope.
So it forces me to still run. I get to meet up with this friend from college because we now do it every year since college. She's been doing it with me. So we get to meet up for the race weekend and make a weekend out of it. And so it's motivational, I think, to just keep doing it every year. And like, that's a special feeling that our little community of 35 of us left, like get to experience together.
Oh, hold on. We're getting a Linda Love. She says, fake runner, I can relate. Yeah. Isn't that interesting how many people say, well, I'm not a real runner. I just blank. And really, if you run down the block, you're a runner. You qualify. There really is no standard. I mean, I just ran a marathon. I've never done an ultra. I mean, am I not a real runner because I haven't done what Yen's done? I think, it matters, right? And so what a great obligation to remain fit.
Yes, fit. That's the thing.
Yeah. So how does that affect you, Vicki? Because 81.
Well, as I said, I'm just happy to keep going. I did do one ultra in Kern County. It was called the Over the Hill Track Club, and it was the 31 something. And I thought I was going to crash and burn at mile 26, but I caught a whole new element, and I flew. The last miles were the fastest. It was astonishing. Not enough for me to run another one, but I do have one ultra. So I just, I love running, and I don't keep to the schedule because I have a very busy life. I'm a real estate agent. I'm a care provider and yada, yada. But I just get it in where I can fit it in. And then I visualize, if I run 3 miles, and I visualize myself running 6 or whatever. So I do the mental multiplication. That's very helpful.
And so, Vicki, you really are. I mean, you come across the finish line, and every time I think, she's not 81. I just want to call you a liar. She's a liar. And you're always wearing your earbuds. So you're not even hearing the nice things I say to you. But
I only have one bud, so I hear out of this ear.
Okay. Like, Vicki. But is this what has kept you so youthful and energetic? I mean, how does running just affect your life, your well-being?
Yes, it's very energizing, but it's basically a mental thing. I live in a very hilly area, so anywhere I go, there are hills. So that's very beneficial. But I try and live a healthy lifestyle. I'm a juicer, so with the carrot, beets, ginger, celery, all that, I try to, eat reasonably, get enough rest, and keep a happy heart. Keep a happy heart, keep negativity away, and don't let anything burden you. If people are nasty, wish them well. If they flip you the birdie, throw them a kiss. I do that. You're driving and, people are rude. So just keep goodness in your heart, a positive mindset, and just be happy that you can get one foot in front of the other. And when I was, when I first started, I was running, 9 on a 5K, 9.5. But my friends were running a 6-minute pace, so I thought I was slow. And now that I'm running 13, 14, 15 and finish, whatever, It doesn't matter. Just keep going. Yeah, you're going to slow down with time. I wish I could say otherwise, but yeah, keep going. And Yin, I think we had a conversation one time because I remember talking to you. And you said that when you crossed the finish line, your family and friends were in the lodge having a great time partying. They were nowhere near the finish line when you finished. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
I thought that was just great to see you. You're an amazing human being. Wow.
They enjoy the breakfast in a restaurant somewhere.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just a love for the sport.
Well,
yes.
And what I love is you're all athletes, and we've got a pretty diverse group amongst us, but athletes won the same. I think it's interesting when people show up to a race, whether it's a 5K or a full, and they say, but I'm not an athlete. And yeah, you are. This is way different than taking a Zumba class. That's exercise. You show up at a start line, especially the OC start line, you're an athlete. And so, Vicki, I'm going to stick with you for a second because you're 81. What does that do amongst your peers? I know lots of women in their 80s and men who just couldn't. They're in a very different position than you. And so, how does your health and your vibrancy affect your socialization? Do you even have peers?
All of my peers are in their 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
My hangout buddies, yeah, they're 30s, 40s, 50s, and my closest running friend is 70. She just turned 70.
I love it.
So it's just, nobody in my family runs. I'm the only one. And somebody said it was healthy and, you could, stay lean and trim. And if I ever started a running club, I would call it the Speeding Turtles because I'm just tootling along. But I'm grateful to do that. I think in every marathon and half, I place first, second, or third in OC every year.
In your age group?
Yeah, because it's not that many of us running.
Well, what's interesting is how many people, they probably will call each of you weird for, Vicki, or you have your weird thing. Yen with her ultras is weird. Eob, Tara, everyone's weird. But this is the right kind of weird. I don't want to keep up with the Joneses that are sitting on the couch and, having their back pain and they're tight and they're getting injured, putting on their socks and they eat like crap. I want to be the weird kind of person who's out running way too far on a hot, sunny day and hanging with other strange, weird people. Isn't this the better kind of weird to be?
It's the better kind of weird. Nobody believes how old I am because, they don't. I don't believe it either. I think they messed up my birth certificate. That's a whole nother story. And now I'm learning pole dancing. Let me run and show you my shoes.
Oh, boy. She's got some hook heels. I'm sure she's going to bring out the plastic heels. Let's see what she's got.
I just started this.
She got them.
Oh my gosh.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done. I have to climb the pole in these shoes.
I love this so much. This, yes, all of this.
I wouldn't dare tell anybody in my class. Nobody knows how old I am in the pole class, but it's really helping my running. It's just the other extreme.
Cross training. Mm-hmm.
Cross training, balance training. Mm-hmm. Balance training. How would you like to exercise in those shoes, Eob?
It's so much fun. It's just,
oh my God.
I am crazy. It's very difficult. Running is difficult, but this is like, the upper body. So I'm so excited. I'm, at the very, I'm tootling along and everything, but it's a joy to try.
Keep tootling. Keep tootling. All right. So we're going to get to know you in a couple of different ways. So I want to know, starting from you, Eob, what is your favorite genre of music?
That's a difficult question because to me, music is categorized in one of two ways: good music and bad music.
Okay.
So it puts me in quite a bind, but I am all into jazz, R&B, and reggae.
Okay, nice choices. Very nice. What about you, Tara?
I would say it's kind of, I agree. And this might be a runner thing. We like different types of music because it's for what we're in the mood for, I feel like. So I have different playlists for like, if it's a short run, it's a different playlist than if it's a longer run. So I really like everything, except I don't really like loud metal music. That's not really my thing.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair enough. What about you, Yen?
I always have bring something music to hear. I actually have my daughter loaded on my iPad. You believe it or not, I still have the iPad. You iPod, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You can't even buy those things anymore. It costs too much. I still have one, still using it for
Love
long
it.
distance running. So I like to hear all kinds of music, 70s, 80s, and
Yes, to that.
some foreign, Asian music, and my daughter loaded up before me.
Well, I always wondering what people are listening to. You get a crowd of 100 and they all have earbuds in. You just think, what would that sound like? You could all hear what everyone's got. What about you, Vicki? Favorite music genre?
I love rock and roll music with a beat that keeps me going. I love all music. I have a space in my heart for classical music because we had to take classical music in high school. So Beethoven, Bach, Brahms, all of those guys. I have that. I like gospel. I love it all. It just depends upon what mood. And I love, the salsa music. That you going. So all of it. I have some of everything in my music. Well, it's not heavy metal, but rock and roll and upbeat stuff, and I love Bob Marley and reggae, a lot of that. So I just love music. If it's beautiful and it moves me, I love it.
Fitz, can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
I want to make a recommendation. So in my second or third, I honestly can't remember, LA Marathon, at mile, Yen reminded me of this because Yen said she still listens to on an iPod. I had an iPod Nano, and at mile 2 of the LA Marathon, my iPod died because it was those times where if the battery shook too much, it like killed it. So even though it was fully charged, my iPod died. I threw it away, and I ran the rest of the LA Marathon with no music. And since then, I no longer run any of my races, including the OC half, with music. And I think that that's allowed me, because I'm slow too, so I'm with you guys, it's allowed me to meet people and have conversations with people while running that, like I said, I met that girl because her driver's license fell. If I had music in my ear, I never would have really had a conversation with her probably. So I want to challenge everybody to maybe try one race. It doesn't have to be, a full marathon, but try it without music and talk to people. And honestly, it's probably changed my life. No longer running races with music, not training runs, but like races.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and piggyback on what Tara just said, and probably people like Yen know this already. When you asked me the general question about music, I answered it the way I thought it was appropriate. But as far as qualifying my answer, I am just like Tara, and from day one, I have never ever run with music on. My ears and eyes and focus is on the running, and Yen knows this. I always say my music when running is the African way, and the African way is listening to the drum beats of your heart, thumping your feet, which is music to your ears, and that's it. And people basically question this and sometimes even have discussions about this with me, but it's all with it, because when you run, you yourself are running with the elements. And with that said, your heartbeat, your pitter patter, your feet, that is all the music you need.
Yeah, I love it. I too. I think what people need to realize is almost all of our courses, almost all of them, you could just go run any day. You know, you could wake up on a Wednesday and just go run from point A to point B. But what makes our race special is the experience of getting, not only enjoying the facilities that the race has created, the graphics and the design and the banners and the start line and so forth, but it's being with these thousands of other people that have a similar passion for you and their energy and excitement, and you know, and the spectators bring so much. I made the very deliberate decision in Boston not to miss out on one cheer along the way. I just didn't even bring earbuds, and it was one of the special 5 hours and 42 minutes of my life. You know, people to have all these strangers cheering for you. And
did you read the signs?
Oh, great signs. Yeah, my favorite signs from this weekend were all toenails go to heaven. You look skinny. And then find a cute butt and follow it. So those are my favorites from Boston. But yeah, I mean,
is there still a shortcut sign?
There is a shortcut. Yeah, go this way.
Yeah, go this way.
There's a bunch of Weisenheimers in Boston, but an incredible experience. And then the other thing when we talk about the earbuds is when you come to the finish line, especially at the OC with Rudy and I, we're pretty fun folks. We have your names usually, and we want to make you personally feel special. It's so interesting. We may see someone coming through and we may say the nicest thing that anyone has ever said about that runner. If they've got their earbuds in, they miss it. So do not have earbuds in at the start line or the finish line. And you're right. I think they should, if you bring them, only use them if you're desperate. If you're at mile 17 and you've hit the wall and you need a little something, use music for that boost. But you're right. I mean, when Eob's on the course and Yan and Tara and Vicki, and you can make those people your friends, leave the music behind, right?
I'm going to give it a shot.
Oh, good. Yeah, you especially. I'm like, take your earbuds out, Vicki. So this year, you got to keep them out. All right. So then I'm going to go with another question, totally different. Sweet or salty, Tara?
Sweet for sure. So I every year give up something for my New Year's resolution. I started it like 7 years ago. It started with French fries. I give it up for the whole year. And this year I chose ice cream, and it's my favorite thing. And there's only 2.5 months left, and I know I can make this. Last year was rough because I didn't know there would be a pandemic, and I gave up pizza for the whole year. And that's like the only food that tastes good to take home and reheat. And so that one was tough, but ice cream this year, it's been so hard. So I'm definitely sweets.
Okay. All right. That's very big discipline. What about you, Eob?
I'm definitely sweet. I'm a devoted chocoholic. I even once attended a chocoholic convention in downtown Los Angeles when they had it about 2 decades ago. I must have eaten anything any rock covered in chocolate that they had for sample. I was sick for days and don't regret one single part of it. A lot of my friends, wonder why I even have a set of teeth. And believe it or not, I don't even have any cavities, let alone, lose out on that. So it must be something sweet in my DNA. But I'm a chocoholic. I'm not much of a candy or other sweets kind of thing, but chocolate, the more decadent it is, the richer it is, the more it becomes my guilty passion.
I'm with you. It's interesting, and I'm a fitness expert, so people expect me to have dark chocolate. Phooey on that. I want milk chocolate. I want sweet. I want nothing good about it, milk chocolate. Good for you, Eob. All right, Yan, what about you?
I don't like sweet stuff so much. I like salty stuff. So especially in long run, you need to intake more salty stuff. And I'm not a sweet thing either. I can't stand the cake and frosting, that type of thing. It's just not my thing. But I do like dark chocolate occasionally. And one thing that I like is that every time I finish a marathon, I like to have an ice cream cone. So that's probably
Nice
about
reward.
it. Yeah,
It's
for the awards. Yeah.
It's a great reward that Tara cannot have. I see. Sorry, Tara. And what about you, Vicki? Sweet or salty?
Well, I tell you, I love them both, but I had to stay off of the salt. I'm allergic to MSGs and sodium. So I have to stay away from chips and all the salty stuff. I love sweets, but I just try and maintain a balance. You know, we have all that goo and stuff, but I recently started running with organic string cheese because in the morning I have no appetite that early, but I can eat string cheese. It's kind of salty and it powers me up and I love it. So I guess I'm more salty than sweet.
More salty. I like it. I'm a salty girl too, especially when I run. It's
Yeah, I
flavor.
like
All right, we're going to talk about our favorite memories from the OC. Favorite memories. Eob, do you have one you'd like to share off the top of your head?
Well, I have many of them, but time is too short. So
That's
I'll
okay.
just stick,
Give me a
I'll
few.
just I'll just stick to one. Well, you know, I mean, OC in the whole compilation of my running career, it takes on a very important aspect. And you know, from day one, I've always felt that it's an extended part of my family. You know, over the years, and Gary will tell you this. You know, even Roy I've met and actually made friends, so they can tell you a little bit about you know, my interactions with them. But my one of my most memorable, I would say, experiences, which included OC, was in the year 2009, and that year, LA Marathon had a lot of controversy trying to hold the event in March. With the churches complaining the way they were with the old course and everything else. So it got pushed over to the end of May, in other words, Memorial Weekend. And that was the year I actually ran Boston. So Boston ended up being in the third week of April. OC was stuck right in the middle at the first part of May. And we had LA Marathon just for that year being in the same month of May, but at the Memorial Weekend. So I ended up running, without my planning, 3 marathons back to back to back in 34 days straight, and actually qualified to be a maniac, one of those marathon maniacs. And the biggest achievement and the experience I feel that OC contributed the most, being wedged in the middle, is that not one single one of my 3 marathons deviated more than 10 minutes in my finish line. So I did Boston in 3:30. I came back and did OC 2 weeks later in 3:41. And then I actually went back to 3:40 with LA. And that was the biggest test and the huge experience I had with my own body and recovery process. So I'll never forget that.
That's incredible. Now, I have to ask you, you're originally from Ethiopia. You said you're Ethiopian American. When did you immigrate here?
Oh, soon after high school, you know, basically. So I grew up in Ethiopia, and you know, it's a big fallacy here when people hear that I'm Ethiopian and run marathons. They say, "Oh, you must be the guy we love to hate." It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way because not every single Ethiopian is endowed DNA or nature-wise, you know, with that gift of running. You have to. It's a big work ethics that is involved in maintaining and doing that. But there is something to be said about DNA, possibly. But you know, it's a mind thing too. Getting yourself and digging deeper, especially when the going goes rough.
Now,
yeah.
Were you running as a teenager?
Absolutely not. I am one of those. I was always a soccer player, and I played competitively since I was at the age of 6. So soccer was my first passion, and that's what took me through school, through college, semi-pro, and one time I even tried for the Galaxy. So I took soccer to the highest level possible, but it was the cross-training and the running part of soccer that I loved so much that made the transition so seamless for me. And when I ran my first LA Marathon in 1995, I did not gradually build myself from a 5K to a 10K to a half marathon and possibly then challenge myself to a full. I'm one of those runners, and Yen knows this, that went from 0 to hero.
I love it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong
That's
with
it.
that.
And I have never looked back since that time. You know, I kind of bow down low for Yen and Vicki for doing as many marathons as you've done. I have a very low number. I only have run 69 full marathons and 86 half marathons. 5Ks and 10Ks, too many to count. But that's my
We're about the same.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Incredible. Well,
Yeah.
you know what's really nice that you just laid out for, which is similar to everybody. You know, as you grow up, it's really hard for me to find a cheerleading team to join. You know, there's the options for team sports become less and less, but running's always there. And every race I announce, I always witness there's 100-year-olds showing up for the 5K. We had a World War II 96-year-old. Oh, I wish I could remember his name, Ed something or other. He was incredible. And he
Whitlock.
came.
Ed Whitlock. I think I
Thank
know who
you.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, what is your-
Yeah. He recently passed away. He's Canadian, and he, you know, in his 80s. But basically, he at 85, I think it was, he broke 4 hours and ran 3:56. At that
Incredible.
age.
Incredible. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I see these magical stories, these things that shouldn't be at the finish line. I see proof every day. I saw some dude running the marathon with no legs the other day. So, but you can do that in running. Again, I don't know if there's a cheerleading team for me to join, but running is the lifetime sport, and that's why we all get to do this. Tara, what's one of your favorite memories from the OC? I'm sure there's many.
Probably my first ever one finishing. That's like a given. It's kind of a big accomplishment. I think I even cried. It rained. That might have been why I cried. I remember hearing swish, swish, swish. But honestly, that year where I felt like I was getting hypothermia a few years ago, that memory definitely stands out because people dropped out of that race like flies. And if there's something to be said about us sticking through it, because you said what makes you go through it. I didn't have an option like other people did to just be you know what, this race is too cold and it's probably not good for my health. And my shoes are soaking wet and my socks are soaking wet. We haven't even started the race yet. We didn't have that option. We had to do it because if you wanted to keep going and keep being a legacy runner, you had to finish. So I would say that was probably it.
Well, and this is why our beloved leader, Gary Kutcher, our race director, has dubbed you all legends now. And he loves you all. He sure does. What a sweet potato that guy is. Yen, what about your favorite OC memory?
I ran so many. I remember a couple of them, and one is I usually slow. So one year I think I won my age group for out of the blue. It was memorable. Another time I ran a 50K on Saturday before the OC Marathon.
Wow.
So it was at Ghost Town.
That's 30 miles.
Somewhere. Yeah, that's 31 miles. And I drove back, and next day I have an OC Marathon to do. So leg is a little bit tired, but it went okay. So that was pretty memorable.
That is tough.
Yeah. So lately, I've become a pacer at all kinds of marathons.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, so I feel like that is just so memorable, and able to bring the new runners and first time runner and bring them to the finish line. And that was every one of them are very memorable to me.
That's so fantastic. So fantastic. And Vicki, what about you?
Well, the most memorable, I have two. The very first one, because it stormed, it was like Tara said, it was freezing cold. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich stuffed in under my t-shirt, the best peanut butter jelly I ever had in my whole life. So that was memorable. At that moment, I never dreamed that I'd be a legacy runner. But the most memorable OC marathon is 2014, Fitz, when I met you. Since I'm a slow runner, I had missed the shuttle. And Gary didn't want me to have to hustle to get back to the Marriott where I was staying. And that's when you drove me to the Marriott, and we literally fell in love.
We did.
And that's the best thing. That's the most memorable ever. You drove me back, and then you wrote that wonderful article about me. God, I was so young then. I was only 74. What a baby.
74. Yeah, you know,
Memorable. And Gary, I mean, you guys were so nice. I was frustrated because, you know, everybody wants to run faster, but you just made it worthwhile and just cheered me on. And so 2014, most memorable OCM.
yeah, I gotta say that's mine too. That's mine too. And I remember we exchanged phone numbers, and within like 30 minutes we were texting and sending pictures, and that was really fun, really fun. And I always look forward to seeing you all every year. OC is home to me, and I'm so grateful to Gary for hiring me, because race announcing is one of the, I mean, I just don't think that I could do anything I loved more. So it's very special. It brings me the best people ever. So we're going to do a giveaway for the Run for a Clause. And then I have one more question for you guys before we go, but I'm going to get my trivia question ramped up. And this is not a question. You guys probably know this answer, so I'm not giving it to you. I'm giving it to our viewers. And this first question is for one entrance to this year's Run for a Clause, which takes place in December. So which charity does Run for a Clause support? So which charity does Run for a Clause support? And if you're out there in internet land watching, use the comments section to give your answer. And what I can tell you is, as I see your comments come up, I will read them out. Sometimes people tell me they answered before the winner, but I get them when I get them. So what charity does Run for a Clause support? They're slow fingers right now. They're probably hunting for the information.
Yeah, man.
Cheating.
Doing research.
Yeah, what could it be? And I got to tell you, I'm not sure if I'm going to be there this year. When Gary said I might, Rudy's out of town this year. So I hope, because I love Santa. Just to be fully clear, I am an unabashed Santa lover. So I love that everyone gets the beard and all the Christmassy gear. I think it's very fun. So hopefully I will be at Run for a Clause with Santa. It's all about Santa, right?
Yeah.
All right, we have no answers to this question. Oh, here comes one. Philip Perez. That is not the right answer, but Toys for Tots is a good one. Great cause. I know the Marine Corps supports Toys for Tots. Second, unless I was given the wrong answer, but I have a different answer here. So not getting Toys for Tots. Than got it. Salvation Army. That's it. Tandu, congratulations. And now here they come. So she was number one. And then, so everyone's getting the answer now. Good job. So, Than, you're going to reach out to info@OC Marathon and tell Kelsey that you were the first one to answer and you earned yourself a Run for a Clause entry. And now we have one more to give away, and I have one more question. So ears open. What is the name of the Santa that attends every Run for a Clause event? So we have a very special Santa, and he goes by blank. You got to come up with that guy's name. That's our next trivia question. And this giveaway will be one Run for a Clause entry. You are welcome. Congratulations, running man. Gat. I don't know. Santa Gat. No, we don't call him Gat. Gary Claus? No, but I like the sound of that, Jessica. Look at Jessica's profile picture. She got such great muscles. Oh, it's so strong. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That was a typo. Gats was a typo. So she wasn't guessing, but good. Gary Claus, if our traditional Santa doesn't feel well or has to deal with ornery elves, we will suit up Gary. No, I don't even know what that means, Leo, but not that guy. Santa? Nope. These are very tricky trivia questions. I actually reached out for help tonight and said, can you send me some trivia questions? I received them. I don't know if this answer is going to come. I'll give it a few more seconds and then I'll find another way. Oh, gosh, no. OC clause. Oh, these are really good suggestions. You know what? I would love to be able to play Santa one day. I don't think anyone would ever buy off that. Last year, I made a video as Santa Fitz. I forgot about that. So I think being Santa would be the greatest thing. Okay. And Leo or Yen, you're getting some love here. All right. So we're going to scratch this question on our Santa because nobody knows the name. I'm going to give the answer now. It is Santa Rick. So nobody got that. Next question. Where does Run for the Claus take place? So where does that race take place? That should be easy for all the cheaters. Yeah, Tara knows.
I said it.
That's right. She said it earlier too.
Too bad we can't win.
I know. We cannot win. Okay. All right. The first answer I received from Tony Solis, Irvine College. And yep, you see Irvine. So congratulations, Tony. Email info@OC Marathon and tell Kelsey that you won a Run for Claus entry. And we expect everyone else to be there. I don't have the date in my hand. I think it's December. Is it December 10th, Tara?
It's
11.
the second Saturday. It's always a second Saturday in December. So
okay. I should know that. But yeah, Run for Claus is coming up. So after the OC, put that on your schedule. We got a lot of good answers. Good. And with December 11th.
I think it's the 11th. Yeah.
Okay. Even better now. Oh, and then ran for Optima Tax Relief one year. Well, that's cool. All right, look, everyone's answering. I guess all these people are already registered. So my final question to you guys, one piece of advice for someone who's considering running the OC right now. Eob.
I'm going to use a very popular parlance used in the running community by trying to motivate people, especially if they're thinking about doing it for the first time. You always have to think in terms of anyone who actually sets foot at the starting line to do the OC Marathon. Please keep in mind that you're lapping everybody on the couch. That's number one. When you finish that race, you automatically become a hero in my book. So if you believe in these two sayings, quotes, if you want to call it that, that should be motivation enough for you to be there at the starting line and see you then.
Love it. Love it. Yen, advice for someone who's considering running the OC? 5K or half this year?
If this is your first race, and don't think about time, just to finish it. That will be your PR.
Love it. Love it. Vicki.
Absolutely. If it's the first race, whatever they decide to run, if it's the marathon, I would hope that they have prepared. But as everyone is saying, just enjoy being out there. And when you cross the finish line, congratulate yourself, because aren't runners still like 1% of the population? So to run a race, even a 5K, if it's the first time, congratulations. Just do it and rejoice in it. Don't be critical of yourself, or you didn't run as fast as you thought you should, or any of that. Be grateful that you did it, and most of all, go do it.
Go do it. That's right. And we use the term running around here very loosely. We have tons of people who do nothing but walk. We have exclusive walkers, and they are always welcome, and they are always a very happy, successful part of our running family. So if you're out there and you say, well, my doctor says I can't run, fine, come out and walk with us, right?
Yeah, I'm run walk.
I'm
Yeah.
a run walker too.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Tara, this is your final bits of golden advice for someone considering the OC.
If it's your first time, I always tell people, if you can walk around Disneyland all day long, you can run a half marathon, because chances are you probably walked 13 miles walking around Disneyland.
Well, what if it's not their first race ever? What if they're a runner who's run other races? Why should they come to the OC?
OC is special because there are so many people. And if you're the type of person who likes being surrounded by a lot of people when you do a race, you have so much support in that way. So if you're faster or slow, you'll always have a group of people around you because there's so many people, which I find really important, because I like making sure that I'm not just alone on some street. Otherwise, it's like a training run at that point. So I highly recommend OC. There's something special about that course and the location and just the beauty of it. And it's got a lot of volunteers who stand along the way. I love reading the signs and looking forward to it all. And so I really think that you should sign up for the OC half. Like I said, nobody has gotten mad at me who signed up for the OC half as their first as a half marathon. So you have nothing to lose by signing up for that race.
That's great pointers. Yeah, this race does not disappoint. It has all of the high-end glossy elements that a big race would have. It comes with all the bells and whistles. The course is beautiful. The announcing's pretty good. And then this finish line festival, total rock star. We actually have this flashback heart attack. We have a couple of great bands who greet all of our finishers from whichever race they're running. And it's just a killer time, isn't it? We're getting lots of feedback right here. We've got Warren Ward, go out and have fun, da-da-da. It's more affordable than LA. Fun course. Ain't nothing to do but do it. That's right. Thank you, Philip. All right, team. Well, I'm going to wrap things up. Our OC legends. I love that. You're all legends in our race and are part of our race family. We really appreciate having you. And what distance are you guys running in November? Yen?
Well, this is no marathon, so I will pace the half.
Okay. And Vicki?
I'm doing the 5K and the half.
Of course. Combo crush. Tara?
I'm doing the half.
Eob?
Well, just like Yen said, the marathon has been eliminated, so it kind of
Just this year.
Yeah, I know. It kind of blemishes my legacy status a little bit on that. But I look forward. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I look forward already to the 2022 OC Marathon. That's going to be only a few months later.
That's right. That's right. And we get registration's open already. So anyone who wants to register for OC Marathon half or 5K in 2022 in the beginning of May, end of April, we want you to do that. OC Marathon. Everyone point down to their left corner. Left corner, that's where you do it, right over there. All right, team. Thank you so much for joining me. We love you all, and I will see you in just a few weeks, and I will have my hugging arms ready for you.
Oh, I hope to see all of you and get a hug.
Bye, guys.
See you guys. Bye.
All right.
See you soon.
Bye, I'm proud of you.
Right.
See you soon.